Hi, it's Dominic, and if you are into AI agents and getting the most out of AI, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. In today's video, I want to show you the biggest breakthrough I ever had with AI, and that is how I learned programming with ChatGPT in only 6 weeks. If you are interested in learning how to use programming to create more powerful AI agents, or you just realized at one point you won't come around programming, but your skills are just not there yet, this video is for you. Let's dive in. First of all, let me define what I mean with I learned programming in 6 weeks to give you context, so you can decide if watching that video is actually worth your time. 6 weeks ago, I started learning about AI agents with so-called no-code platforms. I thought, I am not a programmer, I cannot code, so that sounded like the perfect solution. So far so good, but very soon I realized that if I want to build really powerful AI agents, there is no way around to learn about programming, at least at a basic level. The problem? I didn't know anything about it. Python, Java, HTML, no idea. Now, 6 weeks later, I can confidently say I know how to program. More precise, I know how to solve any task that involves programming. If you have no idea about programming or you feel like learning it takes way too long, this video is for you, as I will show you my exact approach, how I learned it from zero to a decent level in 6 weeks only with ChatGPT. Sounds good? Let's go. The first step in making this happen and to equip you with the powerful skill of programming in only 6 weeks, or even less if you're very talented, is to accept one important fact. In the real economy, not school or university, you only get rewarded for one thing. And that one thing is if you are able to deliver what someone else wants. Period. And if you're like me, the only reason you want to learn about programming is because you want to use that skill to solve problems for other people to make money, right? So big disclaimer here. If you want to participate in a competition, who writes the most beautiful code, this video is not for you. Skip it, you will hate it. But if you're like me and you're just interested in having the skills needed to achieve a certain outcome, stay with me. You will love my approach. So now that I defined what I actually mean with programming and what you can expect after 6 weeks, I'll show you the exact 6 steps I took to achieve that. Step 1, define for yourself what exactly it is that you want to achieve. Only you can answer that. For me, it was I want to be able to use Python programming to build more complex and powerful AI agents at Relevance AI. Relevance AI is a powerful no-code AI agent builder platform. And if you are able to integrate some Python code, you can build very powerful AI agents there. That's exactly what I wanted, so I decided for that goal. For you, it might be Java or HTML to build some nice websites. No matter what, the approach works for almost anything. Step 2, create a first real project that involves the new skill you want to learn. And that is already the part I love the most about this new way of learning with AI. Select a project that you are really interested in and that you say about, wow, if I get that done, that would be amazing. Don't play small here. We live in the age of AI where there is no need to waste months and years with boring academic examples that add absolutely zero value to your life. So really pick something that you are genuinely interested in, but that exceeds your current skill level by far. For me, that project was, I want to build an AI agent that can transcribe a video, add the B-roll images to the video, and adds a good looking caption. An auto video editor, so to speak. And I can tell you, when I started, I did not even know how I would take the first step to achieve that. But I was super excited about it, because having that agent would save me hundreds of hours of editing per year, and that passion is exactly what you need to make this approach work. If you don't actually care about the outcome, it will be so much harder, and I really don't recommend learning anything you don't care about. So take your time here to figure out something cool. Step 3. Now that you defined for yourself what you want to achieve, it's time to create the big picture. If you already have some knowledge about the skill you're about to learn, that step can be done pretty quick. If you start at zero, as I did with Python programming, this step is super crucial. It's about zooming out to be able to see the big picture. What do I mean by that? The learning approach I show you that enabled me to learn programming in only 6 weeks and that you can apply to learn whatever you want is basically the entire opposite approach of classical education. Normally, you start with something like Chapter 1 of learning Python programming, the syntax. Then you learn super basic, easy stuff and you work your way up to more complex examples. With my AI-based approach, we start with the final working end result, and then we learn by observing what is happening within the system that the AI, in my case ChatGPT, built. So the classical approach, start with the basics and then work your way up. The AI approach, start with the final result and work your way in. Why is that so powerful? There are two reasons. Reason one, you get super motivated because you almost immediately see the value of what you learn. That's not the case if you spend months learning boring, useless academic examples. Reason two, as AI is doing the actual code writing for us, we don't need to know the exact syntax of how to write something in a certain programming language anymore, because the AI will do that for us. We just need to be able to understand what the code generally does and how to instruct the AI to repair it if not. So coming back to the initial task of step 3, zooming out and seeing the big picture of what you want to learn, this is what you do. You ask ChatGPT to show you the overall structure or concept of your project by exactly telling it what you want to achieve. The cool thing here is that you can just use natural human language to describe what you want to build. The key here though is to be as specific as anyhow possible. Explain in a huge text document the exact thing you want to build. Think of every single detail that could be of importance. In my case, as I wanted to learn Python at the example of an auto video editor agent, that meant writing down every single step from uploading a video file to Dropbox until downloading the edited video. I wrote things like that. First step, the video gets manually uploaded to Dropbox. Second step, the Dropbox video link must be sent to Relevance AI. Third step, the video must be imported to Relevance AI. And so on and so on. It is very important here that you take your time to do that task as precise as you can. Look at your project and try to describe it as good as humanly possible. If you do that, you'll end up with a huge text document that you then can pass to ChatGPT and you instruct it to show you the overall concept of what you want to build. Step 4. Now that you got a lot of information back from ChatGPT, it's time for you to ask questions. Study the answer from ChatGPT about the big picture carefully. It will probably mention all the parts of your project and how these parts can be realized. For example, to be able to upload the video, you need to create a webhook with Zapier. Or you need a little Python script that reads your JSON file and passes the information to your LLM. If you are completely new to the topic, it's very important at that point to stay calm and relaxed. You will hear a ton of words you never heard about. This is no problem at all, and this is how you deal with it. In this fourth step, it's all about what needs to be built and not how it is built. And to be able to understand that, you need to ask as many questions as you need to be able to gain the necessary understanding. And I mean, it's nothing compared with spending months in a boring course. For me and my example, as I wanted to learn Python, that meant asking ChatGPT about all the Python and IT terms that I didn't know, like what is a webhook or how will that Python script pass the data to Dropbox. Here exists no general rule. Some may understand the general system in a couple of minutes and can move on to the fifth step. Others need some days to gain all the insights needed. But anyone can do that. All you need is a little bit of patience and the desire to really find out what kind of system ChatGPT designed based on your text description. When I walked through that fourth step within my auto video editor project, I, for example, learned exactly how Python code interacts with other platforms on the internet and how data is exchanged. A massive insight at that point. I also gained the understanding of which subsystems I needed to build to achieve my final goal. After I really understood the big picture of the system which I was about to develop, I felt confident to move on to the next step. Step 5. At that point, you have already learned a ton about your new skill, and you also have a clear picture in your mind which components your project, your system, will consist of. Now, in step number 5, you enter the building phase. Depending on what you want to learn, for example Python, that means to instruct ChatGPT to write the code for you that you need. That can be a single code, a so-called Python script, or many Python scripts for different subsystems. If you did step 4 correctly, you know exactly what needs to be built in step 5. If not, go back and ask some more questions. In the building phase, I discovered it is best to build the entire system in small steps. If the architecture of your system allows it, instruct ChatGPT to build the components you need in a modular way, one after each other. Whenever something is done, integrate it to your already existing system, your prototype, and test the new part right away. The smaller the steps, the easier for you to exactly identify if you are still on track or if what ChatGPT just gave you is causing an error. Right here in step 5 is where you will learn the most. Because now the real hands-on learning approach shows its real strength. What you get back from ChatGPT, your code, will most of the time not work right away. And this is a good thing. Why? Because it forces you to actually look at the code and think for yourself how you can make it work. ChatGPT is fantastic in writing code, and most of the time it's just a wrong variable name or a missing API key that is causing the error. But finding out that for yourself is teaching you a ton about programming, in my case Python. The feeling when it suddenly works after you changed manually some things in the code without really yet understanding everything is just amazing. If it hooks you, you can't stop. You probably already guessed it, but that's exactly how you work yourself through the entire code, until finally you have the entire system working exactly as you planned. But we're not done yet. Here comes step number 6. The 6th step is my favorite step. I call it the power step. Why? Because now you improve your system and also your skills even more. It's the step where you will catch yourself thinking, cool, I already did that, what else can I do? And from here it becomes limitless. You act now from a position of confidence and power as you already achieved a lot and you massively increased your understanding. If you now just continue that path with small incremental improvements, trial and error, success and failure, you will be shocked by how fast your understanding and your skills improve. In the 6th step, it's really about deepening your understanding and not just with stopping with the first result you got. Try to go into the details now and let ChatGPT explain to you how the different parts of your code function and what they do. You will see that you already understand most of it just because you already looked quite a while at the code when you tried to make it work in step 5. It's a little bit like children learn to speak by just observing what their parents do. Suddenly, they just speak without ever having learned it in an academical way. AI enables us to learn like that anything we want, even programming. That's it for the 6th step and how I learned Python programming in only 6 weeks. To be transparent here, I built myself circumstances that allow me to dedicate my entire day to my own projects, and I put in many hours to progress that fast. But I truly believe that AI enables anybody to learn anything. I am not a special talent, trust me on that, and I managed to learn it. So if you already have a little bit of experience or just a natural talent for learning, you can make that progress even faster. In any case, you have to give it a try. Once you see that massive learning potential for yourself, there's no way back. You want to discover your full potential. I will give my best with my content to help you even more. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got a lot of value out of it. If so, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which skill you want to learn with that approach. I'm very curious. I hope we see each other in the next video. Take care and goodbye.